How y'all doing this morning? Let's go. All right. Trump, Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell survivors speak out. We got some heat this morning. How y'all doing? Let me get this camera straight. A little more. I had to go for the gusto on that pullout. Okay. I think we good. How y'all doing this morning? It's Purple Sunday. It's Purple Sunday, y'all. You know we had to put on that purple, no matter what it is. I'm over here burning up in this hot jacket just for y'all because it's Sunday. 74 degrees outside in New York City. We actually have 70% humidity. Oh my Lord. Let's get into it, y'all. Woo! Hope everybody having a fantastic morning this Purple Sunday. I can't wait. See everybody here. And without any further ado, got the fingers ready, fully exercised and ready to go. Come on. Where you at? Acting like you can't pop on, like I didn't charge you. Crazy. All right, I'm ready to go. It's time to start the show. Hope you ready, yo. Let's get it popping, yo. Bling, bling, bling. Bling, bling, bling. Sometimes we gotta let it go. Bling, bling, bling. That's all part of the intro. Bling, bling, bling. Like this really has power, right? Boom. I knew you wasn't gonna start right there. Maybe you want them to do it? No? All right, well, we've been talking about getting a new watch. So we're thinking about getting a new watch, you guys. So what do you guys think? Do you think we should buy a new watch that maybe wants to cooperate? Let's see. Yeah. Okay. And let's wake up those paws because he woke us up this morning. We ain't have no choice and we love it. So we do that. Hit you with no delaying. So what you saying, yo? Silly with my 9 milli, what the dilly, yo? When I'm on the mic like this, I do my duty, yo. While I'm in the club like I'm up in the studio. Y'all know why I'm open, right? First of all, it's Purple Sunday. And if it, pump that B. It's Sunday the 17th. That's right, y'all. 2025. I'm your host, Bugatti NYC, and this here's our bottom line where we be talking about this and that and that and this and this and that and that, where we be talking about this and that and that and this and this and that. Just got me lit. Thank you so much, Liberty and Justice, for the $9.99 Super Chat Sunday. Good morning, Bugatti. I appreciate you so much. Who else is up in the building? We got Casey Ramos up in the building. We also have my boy Jeffrey Spilka up in the building. We got Batty Lynn up in here. That's right. We got... Who else we got? That's right. We got tuning in from South Yorkshire, having a watch party. Thank you so much. Oh my God, we got Casey up in the building. Where you at, Rebecca? I'm looking for you, girl. I'm gonna shout you out anyway if you ain't up in here, because you know I got to do it anyway. I just want to see you first. We got Luigi up in the building right now, talking about this and that and that and this and this and that and that. But we be talking about this. There you go. Think I wasn't gonna see you. Big shout out to our homegirl, our co-host that we pray for daily all the time, Rebecca Lon Yen Bueno, tapping in from Grand Rapids, Michigan. That's right, your boy got on this hot jacket, but guess what? It's Purple Sunday, and we got to do what we got to do. So guess what I'm going to do? I got a fully loaded clip. I got a lot of information to give you guys. And guess what? Y'all could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. So guess what? We're going to get into it. We got tariffs. We got terror. We got wars probably coming to an end. We got Trump. We got Epstein. We got Ghislaine Maxwell. We got information directly from the victims. And guess what else we got, y'all? We ain't got no time to play. It's time for me to get to work. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day. And just like I said, y'all could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that y'all came in for Purple Sunday, I appreciate you. So let me show you how much I appreciate you. Time to get it on. Let's get it in. Let's get into these titles. What do we have going on this morning? We have Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell survivors speak out. That's right. Teresa Helm, she's tired of the BS, and basically I've got a lot of information from this survivor, things that she's went through, and her explanation is very clear as to what she went through and how long, as well as who groomed her. Who groomed her? That's right, Ghislaine Maxwell. That's the person that she's claiming that groomed her ever since a young age. That's why us over here at our bottom line, we feel like Ghislaine should not be getting any lenience when it comes down to her sentence. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. Also, what do we have in this title? We have President Trump describes Vladimir Putin's next moves in Ukraine war. Some people are saying he walked away from this meeting in what was that? Where were they at, guys? Not Canada. They were somewhere like Alaska. That's right. They were in Alaska and they had the meeting. They're trying to solve this situation, this war going on with Ukraine and Russia. We're going to get into it because a lot has happened. Like I said, some people on one side don't feel like he walked away with any good information, and people on the other side feel as if, you know what, he's actually got a lot achieved in a small amount of time, even though didn't happen in a time frame that he projected. Let's keep on moving forward because last but not least, we've got the Department of Justice that issues a stern ultimatum to Boston and all sanctuary cities. You know what? Pam Bondi, where you at, girl? There she goes. She over there in the corner, over next to Wonder Woman. Y'all think I'm crazy, but I do think that Christina reminds me of Wonder Woman. You know what I'm talking about, the real Wonder Woman. Pam Bondi, yes, last but not least, she's issued a letter to all sanctuary cities, letting them know that they're on watch, and it's about time for you guys to straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and fly right. Stop harboring illegal criminals and let us do what we have to do, is what she's saying. But you know what? I got work to do. You guys want to see clips. Y'all don't want to see me talking all day. So you know what we're going to do? Let's get to work. The first thing I got to bring up here this morning, on this Sunday morning, Purple Sunday, y'all, is our President Trump speaking about announcements on taxes as well as Social Security for seniors. This is fantastic right here. No tax on seniors. What do you guys think about that? No tax on Social Securities. Let's go.
Thank you very much for being with us. It's a good time for this country, whether you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. I think you're hearing it from a lot of people, not just from me. We're doing very well in so many ways. And the gentleman on my right, we recruited him. We tried to get the best person. We got a man that you'll hear in a second has done an amazing job with respect to Social Security. He's running it, and he's running it like nobody ever even dreamt possible. And it's the 90th anniversary right now of Social Security. So today we celebrate that 90th anniversary of one of the most significant pieces of legislation ever signed into law, the Social Security Act of 1935, and we're going to make it stronger, bigger, and better. Really doing a job. In the campaign, I made a sacred pledge to our seniors that I would always protect Social Security, and under this administration, we're keeping that promise and strengthening Social Security for generations to come. You keep hearing stories that in 6 years, 7 years, Social Security will be gone, and it will be if the Democrats ever get involved because they don't know what they're doing. But it's going to be around a long time with us. Very much, you'll be surprised to hear some of the numbers. I'm delighted to be joined by the Commissioner of the Social Security Administration, Frank Bisignano, who in the world of business, in fact, I wrote some of the little things down.
Not little,
He's had an amazing, he was Chief Operating Officer of JP Morgan Chase. He worked for Jamie Dimon. And Jamie Dimon said that he was amazing. So think of that, Chief Operating Officer, JP Morgan Chase, had a storied career. Then he went to First Data. For those in the business, you'd know it's the largest payment company anywhere in the world. And worked for Henry Kravis, and it was in big trouble. He took it over as CEO. He made it incredible. They merged with Fiserv, and he became CEO of that. and that became extremely successful. I was in Milwaukee. I guess they have the Milwaukee Arena, and where we had some good success and some good speeches. But he's a really legendary guy, and he wanted to do this. I mean, he just wanted to straighten out Social Security because he loves our country. And what he's done in a few months is amazing. Almost 60 million American seniors rely on Social Security for peace of mind and a life of dignity in retirement. These Americans paid into the system, and they deserve leaders in Washington who are going to protect the benefits they've had and protect Social Security. Under Biden, Social Security went down like nobody's ever seen. It deteriorated. There's never been anything like it. The 4 years of Biden were very, very destructive. It couldn't have gone on much longer. Social Security was going to be destroyed. It was being destroyed. The average call wait time reached an all-time high of more than 42 minutes. Field office wait times were at 32 minutes, which is unheard of, and the disability claims backlog was the longest ever in recorded history. In other words, it was run just like the country was run. It was run really badly. But I'm pleased to report that under our leadership, and Frank in particular, the changes he's made and what he's done is sort of a miracle. So like what happened with the country is all
Important
field
information.
office wait times are now down 30% since last year, and it looks like it's going to a total record number. And the record was set in a long time ago when the world was a lot different place. We're gonna beat that record. Call wait times are down 73% while serving twice as many customers per day. The disability claims backlog is down 26%, and seniors now have 24/7 online access to their accounts, which they never had before, whereas under Biden, the website was down 29 hours a week for maintenance purposes. It was essentially not open very much.
All right, you guys, we normally don't take that much information like that, but it's about money. It's about Social Security. So I went for it. I want you guys to know about what was going on before as what's happening now. Started acting a little crazy, doesn't matter. We're going to keep on moving forward because I got 5 on it. I owe you guys 4 more. Let's go. This is the new earth-shattering, says Senator Graham. This is going to be some earth-shattering information as far as Senator Graham. So let's see what Senator Graham has to have about this information that he wants us to hear on Hannity.
All right, we are broadcasting from Joint Base Elmendorf, Richardson. We are in Anchorage, Alaska. Joining us now with reaction to today's historic meeting are Senators Tom Cotton, Arkansas, Lindsey Graham, South Carolina. Lindsey, start with you. A couple of things really stand out to me. Vladimir Putin saying to the world, this war never would have happened had Donald Trump been president. Trump, scale of 1 to 10, gives it a 10. I took a lot away from this interview. Your thoughts?
Number one, I don't really care what. I blame Putin more than anybody else for starting the war.
That's why I like
to be
him.
clear about
Common
that.
sense.
But let me tell you, I've never been more hopeful this war can end honorably and justly than I am right now. The news you made in this interview, to me, is earth-shattering. President Trump said that Putin wants him to meet with Zelensky. That Putin is now apparently agreeing to a trilateral meeting between Putin, Zelensky, and Trump. That's the biggest breakthrough of the night. I've never heard that before. If we have that meeting, I think there will be an honorable and just end to this war before Christmas, well before Christmas. If that meeting doesn't come about, then I think Trump's going to have to use severe consequences against Putin and those who buy his oil and gas.
Senator Cotton, what was your big takeaways of this?
Yeah, Sean, I agree. That would be a very critical meeting between Presidents Trump, Putin, and Zelensky. There's no ceasefire coming out of this meeting today, but also I thought President Trump stood firm in defense of U.S. interests and also our friends in Europe and Ukraine. This is in contrast, for instance, to Joe Biden's summit with Vladimir Putin in the summer of 2021. In just 2 months, we saw the collapse of Kabul, and then 2 months after that, we saw Vladimir Putin begin to mass forces on Ukraine's border.
We will see Again, us here at Our Bottom Line, we have been listening to Vladimir Putin promise many things over the 324 episodes that we've been doing now. And next thing you know, boom, boom, he starts again. So we going to see. All right, let's go. We're going to keep on moving because now we got a boom, boom situation that this guy powed somebody in a wheelchair. He said that he was angry because of stolen valor. I could understand why people get angry about stolen valor, but the powing is a little different. I can't say what I want to say. I'm going to let the clips tell you what's going on. But we had a little incident here when we started off the show when I didn't wear suits before. I put on my grandfather's, well, my grandfather's jacket. I think that's his. And it had like some seals on it. And it's a real jacket. Woo, people went crazy on me in those comments. They were real angry. Had people trying to help me out and everything. I stopped wearing that jacket. I'm about to put it in a picture frame. I will never wear anything that anybody else earned just because some people may feel that it's something bad. This is graphic information right here. If you got any kids around, I don't want them to see this, and you probably don't want to either. This clip is the gunman powing someone in a wheelchair. Yeah, in a wheelchair because his rage over stolen valor. Check this out. This happened recently, actually yesterday. Gunman pows wheelchair-bound man. Going in his bag. You see that? And he pows that man in a wheelchair. Then he says, "It's all right, everybody." A gunman who once plowed his car into a Trump voters registration drive is accused of powing a wheelchair-bound Washington man in the chest at point-blank range over allegations of stolen valor. You guys see what happened? As you can hear, the man is screaming, "Show me your ID." Other people over here just videotaping. I can't believe he's just hanging out there watching all this go on. This is 2025 nowadays, you guys. This is what we living in now. Do your boy a favor, double tap that screen, get them likes up. So he basically says, "What, you're gonna try to pull a GUN on me?" He felt that the man in the wheelchair was going for his. The chaos unfolded in a downtown in Seattle on July the 31st when a suspect's Uter allegedly confronted the 68-year-old man about his military services. Prosecutors allege the suspect demanded to see the victim's military ID and remove the military patch from the victim's belongings moments before the powing. Won't get me. He's holding his ID up as he's holding the shell. He's holding his chest and holding his VA ID at the same time, guys. I thought that you guys want to see something like that, see what's going on. Crazy situation right here. Crazy situation. And guess what?
Well, the victim, his name is Harold Powell Sr. He's still recovering after being shot in the chest, and video captures the moment an encounter on the waterfront turns violent. Harold Powell Sr. proudly wears his military hat and displays this on his wall.
Well, it means everything to me. That's who I am. I was in the United States Navy submarine service for 14 years, and I transferred out.
Powell performs regularly along Seattle's busy waterfront, positioning himself next to a sign that highlights his military service as he entertains tourists.
I played different tambourines with different songs.
But an encounter on July 31st quickly turned violent. Powell describes the events that led to this moment.
I was getting ready to leave, and John walked up to me. He says, "How long are you going to be here?" I said, I'm wrapping up. I said, "Why?" He says, "Because you're a fake veteran." I said, no, I'm a veteran, man.
Powell says he reached into his bag to retrieve proof.
And I says, "No, I got ID." He grabbed my belongings.
Police say Gregory Tim ripped off a military patch.
So he took my stuff away. And then people was like, hey, you know, because he saw he was trying to take my stuff. So I had a knife. So I took my knife out.
Witnesses say Tim did not back down, and Powell took out what was later identified as a holstered airsoft gun. Tim then pulled a gun from his own backpack and shot Powell in the chest.
I've been shot point blank with a 45. I'm dead.
Police and paramedics rushing in took Tim into custody and Powell to the hospital.
Because I said, I can't survive this. You know, that's what I thought.
But he did. After more than a week in the hospital, he's home and not focusing on the violence that almost cost him his life.
I'm living. Keep on living if you're living.
For that, he's thankful.
What terrible story, you guys, man. Mr. Powell, God bless you. And you have been blessed. And look at that real veteran right there. Went through it. And, you know, sometimes you probably don't want to handle that by pulling out the knife that probably instigated the other guy, because now he has a reason to do what he did. But yes, I don't care. We're still going to pray for Mr. Powell. And we're going to pray for people around the world to have more conscience and more calmness, that we can have conversations instead of going directly to get weapons and things like that. That's what we pray for today in Jesus' name. Amen. Because that's why we made a platform like this, so that we don't always battle each other and want to fight. Maybe if we debate, we can have a conversation so it doesn't come to things like this. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys. We got this acting ICE director that's going to give a stern warning on attacks on officers, and they will not be tolerating the crap anymore that's going on out here when it comes down to pushback, as far as like the insight and throwing fireworks at them, just not going for it anymore.
Pam Bondi officially ending DC's sanctuary city status, ordering the city's law enforcement to fully cooperate with federal immigration officials. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons joining me now with more on what this means for his agency. This has been fascinating. Thank you so much, sir, for giving us a little bit of time here as we kick off the weekend. Your thoughts on the back and forth and sort of the legal wrangling. DC is a unique case. It's not like any city or any state across the nation. So it's been fascinating to see how the courts have addressed this, as well as the agencies. What does this mean for your agency?
Hey, Molly, first, thanks for having me on a Saturday. But for us, it's great. As you saw just with those stats that were up there, those are more arrests than we usually ever get from cooperation with MPD and with the District of Columbia. So we have the opportunity to work with our other federal and local partners out to really go out and enforce the immigration mission, but also target those worst of the worst that we've been looking for in the past. And now with DC police being able to turn those criminal offenders over to us, it's going to be great for the city, because we're going to have the opportunity to take those criminally illegal aliens right out of the community, right from the arrest. So I think this whole partnership is going to be great for ICE and for making DC safe again.
Yeah, but the problem is, even when you arrest these guys, that doesn't mean that you're going to be able to keep them in prison or jail or even prosecute them when it comes down to that, especially in DC. The powwowing that you just saw was in DC on the boardwalk. These situations are going on in DC, and look at what Piro's talking about. She can't even do nothing to the youngsters, because they basically got laws that she can't even touch them.
I understand it's 2 years probation to go to college with no mandate for getting on a public bus with an illegal gun, shooting an individual in the chest, which to me is intent to kill. And he walked away after we convicted him. He walked away with no jail time. If that's what you want in this district, then I'm the wrong person to be United States Attorney.
So, new U.S. Attorney for D.C., Jeanine Pirro, laying down the law at yesterday's DOJ news conference. Pirro took on reporters for citing crime stats, saying she's more concerned about the victims and their families. She joins us now. And I think you are the living embodiment of the phrase, right place at the right time. And you've been there for a few weeks now. Some of the things that you've seen are very disturbing. You have thoughts on how you think things could get solved. But in the commercial break, you were talking about one thing that has really troubled you, and that is the homicide rate of young people.
Yeah, first of all, it's great to be with you, Bill and Dana. Of course, I miss all my friends at Fox, but I am, in my element here. The truth is that I just, kind of on a whim just said, let me see the number of homicides of teens last year in D.C. and this year in D.C. You're looking at the 2024 kids who were shot and killed with firearms in 2024. There were 29 of them. Okay, every one of them is an African-American minority community. This is the community that's being victimized by violent crime. Now, in 2025, we've got 16, again under the age of 19, who have been shot and killed as a result of a firearm. So totally, we've got 45 African-American kids who've been killed. And the crucial point right now is that the clearance rate is 30%. What does that mean? That means that they've only solved 30% of the homicides of these teens in the last year and 7 months. That means that 70% of the murders that were committed with guns against teens in the minority community, of those 70% of the murderers are walking around free. We don't know who they are because the cases have not been solved. And therein lies the problem. Young criminals in D.C. have been emboldened to commit crimes because they believe that they're not accountable. And why do they believe that? Because they are not accountable. We've got a D.C. council that has passed laws that make it almost impossible for me, as both federal prosecutor and kind of quasi-local prosecutor, to be able to incarcerate these kids. I can't even prosecute a teen who's 17, 18, 19 years old, forget the 14, 15-year-olds, who shoot someone with a gun. If you shoot someone with a gun in D.C. and you're up to 19 years of age, I can't even indict you.
Yep. So now what you think about those sanctuary city laws as well as those laws that they got going on right there? Because now she's pushing to reverse them. We're going to keep on going with that story, but it'll be so long. And I want to get you guys some more information because I got 2 more for you before we get to the comments. Okay. Donald Trump reveals Putin's possible next steps on the Ukraine deal. Who's interested in this right here? Anybody know anything about this right here? Do you believe Vladimir Putin in any words that come out of his mouth? Because I
have a long time with him.
Yeah, I did. I did actually after our speeches. He made a very good speech, and I also finished it up. And afterwards, we spoke. Right after that, we spoke very sincerely. I think he wants to see it done. I want to see if we can get it done. You know, it's not a done deal at all. They're going to set up a meeting now between President Zelensky and President Putin. And myself, I guess, I didn't ask you about it. Not that I want to be there, but I want to make sure it gets done. And we agreed on a lot of points. I mean, a lot of points we're agreed on. But there's not that much. There's, 1 or 2 pretty significant items, but I think they can be reached. Now it's really up to President Zelensky to get it done. And I would also say the European nations, they have to get involved a little bit.
There's going to be some land swaps. There will be more Russian territory than there had been. And what Ukraine wants and needs desperately are security measures that won't be NATO related. If you had to look into your crystal ball, is that how it ends?
That's a lot.
Well, I think those are points that we negotiated.
That's
and
a lot.
Those are points that we largely have agreed on, actually. I think we're pretty close to a deal. Now, look, Ukraine has to agree to it. Maybe they'll say no.
India doesn't buy your oil. The European Union won't buy it. And why in the back of my head was I thinking, wait a minute, Donald Trump just delayed a possible increase in tariffs on China. Why do I think that probably President Trump was thinking ahead that maybe if you had to, that would have been part of the consequences?
Well, because of what happened today, I think I don't have to think about that. Now, I may have to think about it in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, let's see what Putin do, because everything that you're basically doing, just like me, I got a business deal I'm putting together right now, right? I want it to go together so badly. But until this person makes the phone call and tells me they can make it happen, I'm waiting. So guess what? That's what they're waiting for Putin to do. Got one more for you before I come to the comments. Let's get right back over to Washington, because now we got the Department of Justice that gives an ultimatum to Boston and its immigration policy to Boston. Now let's get on over to Boston and see what their immigration policy is about. And we're going to hear a little bit from Governor Wu, someone that you love so much.
Justice is giving Boston and other sanctuary cities a deadline of next week to cooperate with the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. Our NBC 10's Jericho Tran joining us live from Boston. Jericho, what is the United States Attorney General demanding? And also, how is Mayor Wu responding to this?
Jericho.
Well, Priscilla, those demands were listed in a letter from the United States Attorney General Pam Bondi to Boston Mayor Michelle Wu. It was a little over a page long, so you could call it short and sweet. But inside, it claimed that as a sanctuary city, Boston is undermining federal policy. It also demanded that city leaders stop interfering with federal immigration policies as well. Here's what Mayor Michelle Wu had to say.
We are going to continue to stand up for the city of Boston. Boston does not back down to bullies. Boston does not back down in the face of threats.
Boston Mayor Michelle Wu firing back at the Trump administration after a direct letter from the head of the Department of Justice claiming that Boston's status as a sanctuary city has undermined this necessary cooperation and obstructed federal immigration enforcement.
Everyone in our community also has a role to play in keeping each other safe, but we keep each other safe in Boston. We don't need an authoritarian administration to come in and try to instill fear.
Boston Mayor Michelle Wu received the letter along with 32 other mayors and governors across the country, including California's Governor Gavin Newsom and New York City Mayor Eric Adams.
So it takes the federal push that they now want local authorities to work in tandem with ICE agents as opposed to local agencies maybe turning an eye or knowing that this is a safe space.
The sad part about it is now the criminals, if they want to try to protect them and protect their sanctuary city policies, the criminals are making it hard because they're sticking out like sore thumbs, creating major bad situations for everyone. And guess what? Now you're forcing the government to step in. So if you guys want to keep your sanctuary city situations going on, yeah, your immigrants and your criminals got to calm down. They got to stop doing crazy stuff on the train station. They got to stop trying to rip people off. You're trying to, same way like, we tell them, oh my God, I just got locked up because she's harboring this guy. And maybe when they knocked in the door, they came into her house, giving them reason to take her as well. You got to really understand what you're doing, guys. It's not just one way in this world. Yes, a lot of people are getting caught up in the web because you're making it hot. People say that, why are you making it hot around here? If you're making it hot, they're going to come. If you chill out, don't, keep the thing going, and maybe it won't happen so bad. But nowadays, they're making it hot for the good people. The good people that are actually not committing crimes, that have probably been here for years doing the things that they're supposed to do. That's what my take is on it. We're going to get over to Kentucky. Nothing funny because we got 2,000 Kentucky drivers that are going to lose their licenses. They're being revoked because there was a fraud investigation going on where they found out that they were taking money under the table, $200. That's it. You mean to tell me if all I had to do was pay $200 for my license, that I would have, that's better than taking a road test and going through all of that crap waiting at the DMV.
Federal lawmakers demanded an investigation into a reported fraud scheme involving Kentucky driver's license.
This week, a former Kentucky clerk told a Louisville news station that her coworkers sold undocumented immigrants driver's licenses they couldn't legally obtain. Governor Andy Beshear addressed the situation today saying, quote, irregularities were found. LEX 18's political reporter Carolina Buchek has the story.
Governor Andy Beshear confirmed that employees have been fired and almost 2,000 driver's licenses or credentials have been revoked.
The revoked credentials, if used, would not work at an airport, would be flagged if pulled over at a traffic stop.
Beshear said the 1,985 driver's licenses were discovered during a routine review of credential applications. A former clerk spoke to WDRB News this week saying her coworkers were selling those driver's licenses to undocumented immigrants for $200.
That's it.
She told the news station that this happened 4 to 5 times per day for at least 2 years at multiple branches across Kentucky.
Did all that for
We
$4
asked
grand?
Beshear today if those revoked driver's licenses were in fact issued to undocumented immigrants, but he said he couldn't fully discuss an ongoing criminal investigation.
But that's part of the investigation, and it's part of a criminal investigation. There are a number of different reasons people might try to get fake identification, and I want to make sure I don't get in front of the Kentucky State Police in their current investigation.
One thing Beshear did confirm is that the employees allegedly involved in the scheme were not state workers.
So who was
Beshear
that?
was asked about this alleged fraud scheme by multiple journalists today, and he repeatedly emphasized that he can't go into too much details because he says all of this is under an active criminal investigation.
Yeah, $200, y'all. Y'all missed the bus. But guess what? Everybody that has those $200 licenses that they bought from those Kentucky DMV workers, they're no good. They're about to be flagged, and you're going to get busted. You might get in trouble for buying fake identification, which is an even harder charge. What you guys got for me? Oh, 400,000. That's pretty. Yeah, thanks for that math right there. Good mathing. What else you got over here? Y'all got shoe. Make me one too. I need one. Boston needs a total enema. Ooh, need to move out of there and get me a few, right? Be over here like, yo, hold on a minute. I got them licenses for $1,000, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm from New York. You know, we got to go for the gusto. And you know they're going to try to talk you down. Now, yo, I got 600. Bet. Out of there, 400 profit. Hey. Don't believe me. I'm just making up stuff. That's not what we do over here. We're straight and we do not do bad things. Do me a favor, if you want to help out so that I don't have to do bad things, send me all the money in your pocket. No, don't do that. Because I know it's hard out here for a pimp. So what I want you really to do is just get those likes up. Let's get those likes up, because what that does, it gets so much more people over here to know about our show and what we got going on, and this crazy lunatic that gets up at 3 o'clock in the morning to make sure that everything is sequenced, and he presses that button at 6 to make sure that everybody that's in the chat that uses it as a community that I'm thinking about, maybe if I don't go on tomorrow, I gotta go on tomorrow, because the chat's gonna be like, where is he? So it's not about me, it's about you guys. Do your boy a favor, double tap that screen and get those likes up for our bottom line community, not just me. Let's get on over here to Representative Jasmine Crockett. Oh, what am I talking about, Crockett? That's my friend Jasmine. Let's get over to your homegirl, Miss Crockett. She's talking about redistricting, and she says that she's not going to be able to save anything from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Meaning when they do the cuts and the redistricting, whatever control that she has or those people in those areas, she's not going to be able to continue with those constituents. Here we are with one of your favorite people and someone that you know and love, Miss Jasmine Crockett.
Across the country. How do you see this shaking out?
I think that you're going to see Texas ram it through, because that's what Texas does, with no input whatsoever from the members. And when I say the members, I mean even the Republican members. This map was not created by the Republicans in the House. And so this is a map that was sent down from up in DC somewhere. And so I think that map is going to pass. I think that they are overplaying their hand. I don't think that they're actually going to win 5 seats. I think that a number of our incumbents are able to win their seats back. One of the things that they tried to do was in the Southern Valley, they tried to write off Vicente, they tried to write off Cuellar, and they did ultimately end up getting one of those 3 seats that they had been shooting for. But the reality is that Henry Cuellar, he ended up winning that seat for re-election. Trump won that seat by 7 points. So like, he is a unique and capable candidate when it comes to that area. Someone who was elected on the state level, someone who's been elected over and over on the federal level. And so they're trying their best to kick him out while also making sure that they minimize the voices of Latinos. They've decided to pack more Latinos into those districts and make them more than they need to be so that they could hopefully have influence somewhere else. They are really banking on Latinos really loving on Trump this go round. I don't know that we'll be able to save anything in the DFW area. I think that Van Dyne may end up being more vulnerable. She came from a vulnerable spot before the 2021 redistricting. I think with the right candidate, we may be able to take her out. She is not as loud as Marjorie Taylor Greene, but her politics are just as bad, if not worse.
All right, y'all. A little bit of information about redistricting, what's going on in Texas right now, as well as her. She's going to have to run again because she's going to be part of the 33rd district now. So guess what? She says she's confident that she's going to be able to keep her seat, but we don't know that. Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Everybody, I think Gonzalez, who was that right there? Thank you so much for the $20 super chat. That was Dustin. Thank you so much, everybody. Be like Dustin. hold us down. We really appreciate the support. But go ahead and double tap that screen because we got so much more to get into. Don't worry about anything. Let's get on to the case that could bring down another one of your favorites. Sherman's having relations. Sherman's having relations. Sherman's. Y'all know who I'm talking about. She looked just like Mrs. Clump. Letitia James. Come on, y'all. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Let's go.
Department reportedly is launching a grand jury probe of New York Attorney General Letitia James over her civil fraud case against President Trump.
Sherman's having relations. Now y'all get what I'm saying. Come on, wake up. It's Sunday.
The Attorney General's team, as you might expect, is firing back.
If you can have the presidency go against the people who use the courts of law to find him wrong when he was wrong, then they have taken this idea of retribution to places that, as I pointed out before, the authors like George Orwell would have never dreamed in their worst nightmares.
Let's bring in Ronald Chapman, the second federal defense attorney and Supreme Court expert. So,
yeah,
what do you think about Abby Lowell, who is representing Letitia James, the Attorney General? What do you think about him calling this retribution on the part of the federal government?
Hey, she did it to Trump.
You know, what looks Orwellian to me is landing a $454 million judgment despite no fraud being found, and then racking up $100,000 a day in interest while we wait for the New York appellate court to make a decision. I think that the only thing they can do right now is to claim retribution, but the reality is you have a prosecutor who ran on the idea that Donald Trump was going to be targeted. She fulfilled her promise by targeting him. And when we get to look at this communication and you look at the campaign emails, you'll see that there's plenty of evidence that Donald Trump was specifically targeted because of his political views. That's why this investigation also includes the NRA and potential other political prosecutions that occurred out of that office.
Yeah, she made no secret of it. I mean, she was quite open about the fact that she was running for Attorney General because she wanted to get Donald Trump. Listen.
I will never be afraid to challenge this illegitimate president when our fundamental rights are at stake. I believe that the president of these United States can be indicted for criminal offenses. We're going to definitely assume we're going to be a real pain in the He's going to know my name personally.
No one is above the law, including this illegitimate president. I look forward to going into the office of Attorney General every day.
Yeah, that's what I mean when I say Mrs. Clump. Y'all get what I'm talking about. We have a single mother who's been detained. This is somewhere totally different, you guys. We got to keep the ball rolling. Love the contact and the way you guys are staying on point. But y'all get what I'm saying. Sherman's having relations. Sherman's having... And all of a sudden, like I told you before, people in glass houses should not throw stones. You live in a glass house. You got a bucket of stones in the front. You feel like you want to throw stones at other people's house. Guess what? They can use those same stones to shatter your dreams. So Letitia James, hope you're having relations because they coming for you, boo. We got the single mother that's been detained during an immigration court outside Van Nuys. Come on, y'all. Let's get on over here. I think she's about to be deported too. And the sad part about it is, I think she was only serving some food or something like that. Pretty intense situation. Want you guys to see what's going on. Let's get over to LA.
Immigration sweeps. This one unfolded this morning just outside of a Home Depot in Van Nuys. KCAL's Luz Delia Caballero spoke to the vendor's mother and shares why witnesses believe Home Depot has become a hub for these operations.
That's right.
Do you have a warrant?
This is the moment federal immigration officials detained 38-year-old Yenny Perez Quinilla, a single mother of 3. It happened just before 10 o'clock Friday morning. We spoke to her mother, who asked us not to show her face.
Is this her primary source of income? Cuando vende aquí sus tamales, ¿de eso vive?
Sí, ella vive de lo que ella vende. Quinilla's mother tells us her daughter is not a U.S. citizen, but works very hard and clean record. Sí. Jorge Villanueva actually recorded this video.
This is very alarming. We don't feel safe.
Adding this isn't the first time immigration officials have come to this Home Depot.
They've been here many times this week, including last week where they arrested folks.
Villanueva is a volunteer and board secretary for IDEPSCA, a nonprofit that works with day laborers and actually runs the job center located inside the Home Depot parking lot.
They are singling this community out and this worker center. It's in clear violation of the TRO.
I'm still shaking. Andrea Rothschild witnessed when agents pulled up and got out of their cars.
It's just wrong. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. All of the people that are here are just trying to get work to feed their families.
But she isn't alone.
It's not fair.
Miguel Renteria, who supports vendors, says these federal immigration sweeps have the community living in fear.
It's hardworking people. I feel so bad.
As for Quinilla's mother, she'll be taking care of her 3 grandchildren for the time being.
Now check this out. Let's say, for instance, if they would have came to the house to get her and the mother didn't have her paperwork right. Locked up, and they gonna let them out. But maybe in Guatemala, Venezuela, or Mexico. That's what happens, you guys. I know it's tough. I know it's rough to see, and it's really bad. But the same thing you got to remember is these same people that was walking over in these convoys when they had these little kids and they was looking at y'all like, we coming. And the news made it a joke like, look at this convoy coming in from such and such. Boom, boom, boom. There's nothing you can do. I was like, oh my God, they're coming. They're coming. There's a bunch of kids with them and everything like that. Now we have the other side of that. Now people are like, oh my God, I'm so sad, because of course they're going to be sad. They got to go. Anybody that left a bad situation is going to feel terrible that they're getting out of it when they find a better place to go to. But I just don't know if it's okay to overpopulate situations and make it harder for the people that actually live there. When you are on a plane and you get on the plane, and what does the lady in the front tell you? She says, put on your mask before you help the person next to you, because dead man tell no tale. That's right. Put your mask on, take care of yourself, then take care of the person next to you. But if you can't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of the person next to you? You guys get what I'm saying with this? A lot of you guys that have common sense understand what I'm trying to say here. We got to take care of ourselves before we can take care of other people. And you can't look at me and say that we're doing the damn thing and we can do what we got to do, because we ain't got it like that. Our pockets, yeah, is like this. Like this. We good at fronting like we got it. One thing Americans are real good at, man, we can market to anybody. What? Look at this. Look at this jacket. Look at all this stuff I got on. Y'all think I got money? Man, listen, don't make no money off doing this. But do I look like I make money doing it? Damn right. See, that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's what you perceive when it comes down to it. So check this out. Economy is crazy. We can't even afford a bag of potato chips. Tariffs crazy, going nuts, but we worried about taking care of other people and we ain't even got it. Make some sense of it. It's not my fault. I have been born with common sense. You can be a Republican, Democrat, white person, independent, Indian, Tomahawk. You could be Chinese. You can be Lebanese. You can be anything that you want. You could be on your knees. But if you make sense, I rock with you. Bottom line, we don't do that over here. It's about common sense. We don't do that category crap. Keep on moving forward, because now it's time to get on some Epstein information. Jeffrey Epstein's survivor, Teresa Helm, breaks her silence on the chilling story of Ghislaine. And this is why I keep on saying this. No negotiations for Ghislaine. I'm sorry, Ghislaine. How do we get the proper spelling? Because one time her dad bought a boat and he named it after her, and he wanted to make sure that everybody understood it was named after her. So he gave them the right pronunciation, which is Ghislaine Maxwell. Here we have some information directly from one of her survivors.
Let's take a closer look at this story. Teresa Helm is a survivor of sexual assault. Helm was assaulted by Jeffrey Epstein in the early 2000s. While studying at a massage school in Los Angeles, Teresa was offered a job interview that would lead her to Epstein's close associate, Ghislaine Maxwell. Teresa Helm now joins us live on NDTV. Teresa now works with the National Center for Sexual Exploitation. Teresa, thank you so very much for sharing your story here with NDTV. I know you have advice for women on being on guard about sexual violence, but in order to really understand that, please, if you could first give us a sense of how you were groomed by Ghislaine Maxwell when you were barely 22 years old. You were in LA and flew to New York. What happened?
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me. So
That story was one of those where I was at school working, a student full-time, working full-time, and I was approached by a fellow student who was further along in the program, which led me to meeting Sarah Kellen at the beach in Los Angeles. These, unbeknownst to me at the time, these two young women were employees or recruiters, you could say, of the Epstein Maxwell network. And after my very long conversation, in-depth, detailed conversation of what this job opportunity exactly entailed, working for Miss Maxwell, as I was given this description through conversation with Sarah Kellen, then I was flown across the country from Los Angeles to New York City to meet and interview with Miss Maxwell. And Miss Maxwell, as I was introduced to her, she was very polite, kind, very articulate, very emotionally connecting with me on every point and item that I would speak about and talk about with myself, my personal life, where I'm from, what I like to do, everything that I had to say, whether it was about Ohio, where I'm from, whether it was about my father. She had something to add and share and connect with me about the state of Ohio. She had something to add and share and connect with me about her father. She had something to add and connect with me about my birthday and her birthday and how they were one day apart, and how, you know, how that was our experience with that growing up. And so there were so many multiple back-to-back emotional connections. Everything that where I was at in emotion and connection, she was right there with me.
Wow.
And that was what I know now to be
Grooming.
an extremely efficient, effective part of the grooming process,
Yep.
which builds trust. The entire point of that is for her to make me feel like I could identify with her, like to make me feel like I belonged there, like I was worthy, like, because I understood very clearly by her beautiful home and photos of presidents on the wall with her in the photo. I was very clear. It was very clear to me that I was surrounded by a successful, powerful woman. However, she made me feel I belonged. And so that trust, that's exactly what she did. I was
And
able
then
to
she
build-
got you to go and meet Epstein.
That's exactly right. So when she told me that I would be then going to meet her partner Jeffrey, though I had never.
I have to do this because I don't want to just R-word all of their content. I want to, first of all, I want to thank them for this group right here, the Washington Watch. Also, thank you for your fantastic reporting that you're doing. This clip is called Jeffrey Epstein Survivor Teresa Helm Breaks Silence. She shares her chilling story. NDTV World, very in-depth. Another reason why we over here at Our Bottom Line feel as if Ghislaine Maxwell do not need to even have leniency when it comes down to her being removed from the prison that she was in before. Teresa here has exclusive content. She basically has been a pioneer in this information as far as talking about Epstein, as well as Virginia, God bless the dead, Miss Dufresne. Right now, she talks about exactly the grooming process and what Ghislaine did to her. If you go to someone's house, you see them in pictures with presidents, you see them with pictures and with all these famous and influential people, you're going to believe that this person is someone that you want to be around, and you're going to believe them if they invite you in. Grooming process, 20 years is the right amount of jail time. Send her back to max. I don't care about no apples or whatever you're complaining about that you can't eat or what you're not used to having. You're used to treating people like crap and doing stuff like this. So yes, you need the other side of the coin. You guys say the same thing about everybody else. I hope they go to Giselle and they take care of them in there. But they was taking care of her in there. Not the way that she wanted to, but the way that she deserved.
Heard of anyone beyond Miss Maxwell the entire time, whether it was from this girl at the school to Sarah Kellen to Ghislaine when I first met her. Not till the very end of my time with Ghislaine did she share with me that I was going to meet her partner. And at that point in time, any red flags that rose in me, I was able to, essentially squash them in the with the mindset that this is a safe, healthy woman and I trust her. And now I'm going to go to the second part of the interview and secure the job. So I very much so, I walked there myself. I took myself to his home.
We might be going there today just for some pictures.
And it was there that you were sexually assaulted.
That is what happened that evening. Yes, after meeting him and his chef and having what I thought to be a lovely conversation at the time with two polite, kind, charming individuals. Yes, which led me into the assault at Jeffrey Epstein's home that
So,
evening.
Risa, sorry to hear that. Now, there's been a frenzy, as you know, over the Epstein files. Some years ago, you settled your lawsuit that would have helped out, I guess, with some kind of closure. So why is it really important for you to have these files released and potentially risk reliving all that trauma again?
Well, I would like to say, first of all, risk reliving the trauma. I do believe that myself and likely many, many other women, we experience the re-traumatization on a somewhat ongoing basis. There's so much media, there's so much content, there's so many memes all around that pop up at any given moment. You just really never know. These files, the focus is essentially so important for the survivors like myself and others, though I don't pretend to speak for all of them. However, what needs to happen is the transparency, because you cannot simply say that these things didn't exist when we all know through our lived experience that these are very real events. These are very real things that happened to us, things that we went through and have survived through. And there were certainly people that enabled and perpetuated the entire system, because that's exactly what this has been, a multiple decades long of a systematic exploitation. Yeah.
All right, buddy, gonna keep on moving forward now, because like we said, we like to get to the victims and let them speak directly about what they've been through, because
So I played a soundbite from Maria Farmer, as you know, another Epstein survivor. And she said in the clip that we showed, she's never met a more predatory human being in her entire life than Ghislaine Maxwell. One, do you agree with that characterization? And two, how does it make you feel to know that the number 2 person in the Justice Department just spent 2 days alone with her, talking to her about the case, and now all the talk is about, well, what's going to come of it? Could a pardon come from those conversations?
Crazy.
I can say my experience with Ghislaine Maxwell. So what's interesting about what Maria has stated about her, I agree with that. And here is why. She did not present herself as evil and as a monster and as someone that's going to put my life or my well-being in harm's way. She came at me with politeness, with openness, with friendliness, with making emotional connections with me, with the ability then to build this trust with me within hours. So her presence and her approach to me was so meticulously calculated that her intention behind all of this, I would even say, beautiful humanitarian woman-to-woman interaction, it was all to fool me. It was all to get me to think one thing and believe that I was in as I said, a safe and healthy environment, when actually she was setting me up to then go into tragedy.
All right, y'all, we got to get up off of that. All right, terrible, but we always like to get it from the horse's mouth, direct information from the person who was traumatized by the person that put them through the trauma. What else you guys got to say? Trump 101, victims want to tell their story, so why is Trump protecting? Okay, read the book called Memoirs of an Economic Hitman. NP to all of you asking, when a country is attacked from within, the first 2 targets are the healthcare system and the judicial system. Okay, who is Trump protecting? Okay, everybody got a lot on this. Now we're going to get on to this father who was picking up his child from a school, and he got, they took him. I don't know what's going on here nowadays, everybody, but everybody trying to make their quota when it comes down to these ICE raids and people getting locked up. But yeah, there is no bars off, no holds barred on where they'll go to get somebody. Check this out.
The message from school administrators and Reaction from parents. Tony.
Yeah, you know, Andrew and Christina, first of all, I want to show you something. That arrest happened right behind me, about 50 yards down this sidewalk. By the way, right in front of that church right here. Now, I want to show you something else. Look how close it is to this school. This is Linda Vista Elementary School. This is exactly why so many people are outraged. This is the moment just after 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon when Michelle's mother, who was on her way to pick up Michelle's child at Linda Vista Elementary, saw ICE agents in unmarked vehicles outside their Linda Vista
everywhere.
home. So Michelle started recording video showing agents with faces covered questioning a man who was inside a red car. All of it happening less than 100 yards away from Linda Vista Elementary.
And they were like hitting the car and telling the guy like, get out the car. And he was like, why?
Michelle asked us not to show her face for security reasons. She says she watched in horror as the man, who appeared to be frightened, was handcuffed and then taken away. Michelle later found out that he was waiting to pick up his child at the school.
I am told that the father who was detained was concerned about his child's welfare and who was going to get them from school.
San Diego Unified School Superintendent Fabiola Bagula held a press conference condemning
everywhere, y'all, everywhere. I hope they come. I know y'all, whoever don't like this in the comments, I don't care, but I'm gonna just say it. I hope they come to New York. I hope they come to New
Border
York.
Patrol started its day in Los Angeles, just like it has almost every day since early June.
Los Angeles.
Hitting Home Depots and car washes to look for people in the country illegally. We joined them at a Home Depot this morning at now just after 9 a.m.
That's the lady
they were
they took.
targeting a Guatemalan woman. They did end up arresting her, but she was the only one that we saw arrested. A Border Patrol agent went up to a food stand to confirm that this woman was their target. Once they did, they moved in, and it was very quick. In and out in 4 minutes. ICE, you have no warrant. Get out! They created a very strong reaction, adverse reaction from the people there. They sent off sirens. And
Like I said, what if they start rolling up like doom 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 doom. I don't care, y'all. Doom doom doom. Ice, ice, baby. I know y'all in the comments gonna be tight at me right now. Ice, ice, baby. Bust it. Doom 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 doom. More jobs for the Americans. More jobs for the Americans. Pay them what y'all owe us. Give us a decent wage. Call me what you want. Let's get on over to New York with this off-duty police officer. Fatally pows a man who pointed a fake GUN at him. Buddy, not something that you should have did. New York, let's go. Don't be doing no stupid stuff like that. It's bad enough that you know you can get your head knocked in, but you're gonna be pointing fake GUNs at police. Probably got what you deserve.
This morning, an investigation underway after a deadly shooting on Staten Island.
Police say an off-duty officer shot a man who was holding a fake gun. John Diaz joins us live from Staten Island now with the latest details. Good morning, John.
Yeah, good morning, both of you. The crime scene now cleaned up, but police telling us they are still actively investigating this deadly shooting. Since these officers, they were off duty at the time of this, there actually is no body cam footage. However, there is video surveillance that right now they are sifting through, trying to get a better understanding of what exactly went down. But as you can see here in this video, this is what it looked like out here at the scene as police just responded out here last night, just about 8 o'clock. This all went down in the rear of Andrew's Diner. That's where it started, is what I should say, which is in the Great Kills neighborhood here on Staten Island. That's when detectives say someone called 911 and reported a man was armed with a gun, but then left. Police telling us a short time later, an off-duty police officer was walking down a nearby street, William Avenue, when he saw that same man displaying what appeared to be a gun. That officer then notified another off-duty cop who came as backup. They told the suspect to put down what we now know to be an imitation gun. But as police explained, the suspect didn't listen, and police then shot at him.
The officers gave multiple verbal commands for the male to remove his hands from the firearm and to put the firearm down. But he did not comply and pointed the firearm.
And you can't say it don't look like a real weapon. Look, it looked like a real weapon.
Now, in this video, photo released by the NYPD, you can see what police are calling an imitation firearm. Police telling us the officers involved in this case, well, they did try to provide medical attention to the man after the shooting, and he was transported to the hospital right after, but that's where we are told that he died. But again,
Must have been out of his mind. Come on, man. Like, nobody in their right mind is going to think that like anything else can happen. That he probably wanted death by suicide. That's probably what he was going for. I got to keep on going because you're way too beautiful, girl. This is why it will never work. You'll have me suicidal. That's right, y'all. Sean Kingston. Y'all know who I'm talking about, right? Sean Kingston, man. Come to the front of the stage, them. Miami. Yes, time to get your time. Come on up, Sean Kingston. Time to get your plate. Bring your tray to the front of the stage because the judge in Miami, they have sentenced rapper Sean Kingston to 3.5 years in prison for wire fraud and embezzlement, you guys. I don't know if you guys remember, he and his mom got arrested earlier in the year. They haven't gotten bailed out, but basically they've been fighting this charge ever since earlier this year. Now he had to finally settle out. They wanted 5 years, but his sister took the stand and a couple of other people spoke for him, so they broke it down to 3.5.
Facing the music today as a judge sentenced him to prison in connection with $1 million fraud scheme. CBS News Miami's Yvonne Taylor was inside the courtroom when that decision was handed down. He joins us live from Fort Lauderdale with more on what happened in court. Yvonne?
Yes, Elliot, and the rapper was actually sentenced to 3.5 years behind bars or in prison. Now, his sister was present during the whole process, and she addressed the judge, asking the judge to be lenient with her brother, saying, quote, "He's a good man, please be lenient with him," end quote. So this was after she found out that the U.S. government was asking for 5 years in prison. So let's take you to some video from earlier today, and you will see 35-year-old rapper over there, Sean Kingston. He was immediately arrested after the judge ruling. You see him in this video as he walked to federal court today next to his team of attorneys and his sister dressed in white behind him. He did not say a word as he arrived. Now, Kingston, whose legal name is Keyshawn Paul Anderson, and his mother, Janice Turner, were arrested in May 2024 in Fort.
I don't know if y'all saw that big TV, but that started the case off. That TV that they're breaking down right there, basically he was supposed to be renting this TV from this company. They came in to put this TV in. They kept on asking for their money. He didn't give it to them. So you know what they did? They took him to court. Whole bunch of other people took him to court. He started giving them fake stuff that wasn't his, stuff that still had liens on it and everything. Took him to court. Boom, the whole lid came off of everything. Just because this stupid TV right here. Yeah.
In May 2024 in Fort Lauderdale. According to federal records, they orchestrated a scheme to obtain high-end luxury items, including jewelry, expensive watches, even a luxury SUV. They then claimed to have made wire payments to the victims, but investigators said the rapper and his mother never did that. They were each convicted by a federal jury of conspiracy to commit wire fraud and 4 counts with fraud. His mother was sentenced in July to 5 years in prison. Today, the rapper, who rose to fame in 2007, was sentenced exactly to 42 months in prison and supervised release for 3 years. His attorney reacted to the sentencing, but first, we're going to hear from his sister.
No. You don't need
I just want to say change won't break our spirit. We stand in faith. I'll be screaming, free my family until they're home where they belong. God is the greatest. We're blessed. Thank you.
You could have did without that right there. Trust me, you could have did without that. Oh yeah, let's hear this little stuff from the lawyer trying to womp, womp, womp.
The judge saw through the fact that this is not a typical fraud that you see in other cases, and most of the restitution was paid back. Most of the people were paid back, and I think that the fact that Sean has done so much stuff for other people in his life, and the fact that he's a good person and helped others, I think that...
Yeah, so they broke it down to 3.5. She went in there and fought a little bit for him. His mom is basically the one that's probably the ringleader. You know what they say, the apple don't fall too far from the tree, and his mother has an extensive record of doing the same sort of thing. So sadly, you're way too beautiful, beautiful girl. You're gonna be singing that in jail, in the shower to everybody for 3.5 years. 3.5 years, and that's if you do good time. Let's keep on moving forward, you guys, because now we got this team who's accused of randomly powing the Uber driver like I showed you guys the other day. He's gonna remain in jail. In jail. In jail without the bail. I've been around for a while. In jail. In jail because we fail. Rah! Yes, Fat Boys. I've been around for a while, y'all. I know that song right there too. I bet y'all never know that song from the Fat Boys called In Jail Because We Fail when they made that movie, The Disorderlies. Let's get on over here to this teen that was accused, and he deserved to be exactly where he at. How come they get so fly and cut up when they go to jail? He got a haircut and everything. Don't even look like the same dude.
At this point, and the court's not willing to take that risk.
And you can talk a little louder. Hell without bond. Yeah.
That local judge didn't hesitate to keep a teenage murder suspect locked up today. I mean, after all, police say he admitted to killing a random rideshare driver recently just to blow off some steam. But it's his new apparent confessions to other crimes that have thrown this case into unexpected and frankly terrifying territory. Let's get to Alika Medina, who has been following this case. Alika, did we have any idea about these other potential crimes before today?
No, Tessa, there were a lot of surprises in Shelakai Sanchez's hearing today. We know police say the 18-year-old confessed to picking a local Uber driver at random just to shoot at. But today we heard he may have a much deeper criminal history.
He admitted to 2 more murders. The same guy that we watched this, we started this story 2 days ago. This started off as a random 18-year-old that did a joy powing and told his girlfriend to just call an Uber driver. And he powed that person. He just admitted to more crimes when he got arrested.
Top 5 of the worst cases I've seen in terms of what is alleged to have happened. Pretrial services, GPS monitoring is not going to reasonably protect the public at this point.
Shelakai Sanchez, the 18-year-old accused of shooting his Uber driver in a calculated killing, will stay in jail. Sanchez allegedly told police he ordered the Uber last Thursday to kill anyone he could find and chose Joseph Andrus because he needed to, quote, let off some steam. As the state made its argument, prosecutors pulled back the curtain on their interrogation of Sanchez.
But then approximately 40 minutes into that interview, he fully confessed, at times musing at the chain of events as if it was just another ordinary day. And he at one point told police that he enjoyed doing what he did.
The state played part of the interview, and we could hear Sanchez describe Andrus.
I feel that guy was really cool.
In the exact moment, he allegedly pulled out the gun.
He was taking way too slow. He wouldn't get out the seat, and I told him multiple times, when I get out. I just shot him. I think like 5 times.
But that wasn't the only confession Sanchez made.
He also credibly confessed to 3 additional prior homicides for which he had been involved and for which he has not yet been charged. One of which he said he shot and killed somebody while he was still in middle school.
When was the first time he shot somebody? In middle school? In middle school? When do you think the first time he killed someone?
So he basically said he powed
And while he
somebody when he
talked
was
about
in middle
previous
school.
homicides,
He further described the feeling he had watching that as beautiful and how afterwards he was able to sleep much better at night.
the state added Sanchez also confessed to threatening a child.
The defendant was threatening a child with a firearm, a 7-year-old, while he was drinking. The defendant was drinking and allegedly pressed the barrel of the gun against the forehead of the 7-year-old, and then later threatened the child not to tell anyone.
It's worth repeating, prosecutors said today that Sanchez confessed to committing 3 murders when he was a juvenile. While police are looking into those claims, the DA's office confirms Sanchez now only faces charges in a different case for holding a gun to the head of a 7-year-old. Tessa?
Jesus Christ. What do we have to say about Sanchez? I'm glad Sanchez is locked up, and I hope they don't let him out. Please don't let him out. He said he's doing random acts of violence just because he feel like it. We got to keep on moving forward now because we got these Abbey Bakery owners who's found guilty of harboring undocumented employees. This is what we be talking about over here, right? The undocumented employees, and then the people, the police and ICE run in there, doom, 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 lock everybody up, right? And then the owner come out. How dare you? How do you do something like that? How do you arrest my workers? These workers are busting their butts. These are the hardest. Well, do me a favor. This is me. Do me a favor. Let me see the paperwork from every one of them. Let me see their health benefits. Let me see the hours that they've been working. Also, let me see the hours that you're paying them. What are you guys paying them? Abba-dooba-baba-beeba. That's how they're going to start talking. Hold on a minute. Do you have any of that paperwork, sir? Huh? Abba-dooba-baba-beeba. Abba. Yeah. Start talking all sorts of crazy languages and stuff now. So what I do have a happiness for, and I'm glad about, is that people like that are being arrested now and they going to jail because they're trying to play both sides of the fence, trying not to hire people that are like U.S. citizens and give them a fair wage, and then on the other end hiring illegal people and treating them like crap. They don't even deserve to be in business. That's how I look at it. So Abbey Bakery, I don't feel bad for you, even if you was on Abbey Road. Let's go. Let's keep on moving forward because they got locked up for this nonsense.
You guys want to make a few comments?
Not at the moment. Yeah, not at the moment, right?
No comment from the family of the couple who owns Abby's Bakery in Los Fresnos. Today, a jury found them guilty of employing people in the country illegally. Channel 5 Stephanie Rosales sat in on the federal trial. She joins us live outside the federal courthouse in Brownsville. Stephanie, what's next for the couple?
Dina, right now the couple is out on bond until their sentencing, which is set for November. There were emotional moments in the courtroom when that guilty verdict was read earlier today. Family and friends could be seen hugging one another. They were tearing up when the judge read the jury's decision. The couple was found guilty of 3 federal charges, which include harboring and employing people in the country illegally.
Boom.
During the 3-day trial, the government called multiple witnesses, including federal agents and former employees of Abby's Bakery. Those former workers were also in the country illegally. The government argued that the owners of Abby's Bakery knowingly hired people who were here illegally. As for the harboring charge, those former workers in recorded testimony said they were kept in a room near the bakery. They said it made it easier for them to just sleep and go to work. The defense argued the workers were free to leave, adding they were not hidden from the public and that they were not required to sleep in that room. Cesar de Leon represents Nora Alicia Avila, and he said he was not happy with the outcome.
We believe that these were hardworking people and they employed hardworking employees and they were just here to make a better living. And I believe that these laws were supposed to target international criminal organizations.
And no, they use their fine line to try to get slick. Come on, man. The one thing about the hours coming to work and not paying them right, that's one thing, and not giving them benefits. But having a room off to the side for them to stay there, what is this? Slills knave wages and you trying to keep us on premise? And they don't know nothing else about going nowhere, so they probably keep them nervous about don't go nowhere outside because, you know, the ICE, bajando, they're going to arrest you. Come on, man. You don't know what them people was doing to them people over there. So guess what? They got what they deserve. Locked up, and I hope they don't get out. And guess what? Their business is out of there. So they should have did it legally and had some legal people working there. Yeah, let's keep on moving forward now because we got this former girls basketball coach who has been assaulting children for over 33 years and 6 crimes. That's right, 6 crimes, y'all. Y'all heard me. I'm not going to say the word because they can say it, try to make me get in trouble, have that spinning ball coming around on me. Nope, I know better. Let's go, and I'm glad they got him.
A former
nice tie, by the way.
High school basketball coach will spend nearly 34 years behind bars after admitting to a pattern of sexual abuse and harassment that spanned decades. The crimes involving multiple girls that he coached on Oahu, and today victims confronted him in the courtroom. Kimber Collins joins us live outside the federal courthouse with the decision as well as reaction. Kimber?
Yes, Jai, the courtroom was very tense this afternoon as U.S. District Judge Seabright handed down the sentencing for former Punahou basketball coach Dwayne Ewan. Seabright going as far as to calling him a predator with a whistle who abused his position to gain control over these women. And the victims say that they have waited way too long for justice. So let's take you back to what happened. Ewan pled guilty last December to 12 federal counts, including sex trafficking, coercion, and producing child sexual abuse material. Today, he was sentenced to 5 counts. Prosecutors say his victims were middle and high school girls he coached between 2005 and 2023. Now, inside the courtroom today, the judge also called his actions explicit and disturbing before sentencing him again to nearly 34 years in prison, followed by life on probation, and he must register as a sex offender. We spoke to one of his victims before the sentencing was handed down today.
He ain't getting out.
You could say a sense of relief. You know, it was a long time coming. About 15, 20 years ago, you could never see this day. And so, yeah, I'm relieved that we're here. Just being in this position is unfortunate, but I'm glad that we're able to make some changes with it, you know, and that we have some really good warriors on our side. And, you know, if it was anybody else, who knows what would have happened.
She looked like Wonder Woman out here.
Several victims told the court they still live with the trauma of Ewan and want this case to push schools to act faster when allegations surface. Now, again, in the courtroom today, 4 victims either had letters or spoke to Ewan directly. It was a very powerful day here at the courthouse, and we will have more on the sentencing and the story of strength from these women tonight at 6. Reporting live at the federal courthouse, Kimber Collins, Island News.
And that was in Hawaii. We going all over the world to catch these fools, y'all. We going everywhere as long as we find the information. Get them, got them, good. Get them out of here. 33 years? He's about, 40-something years old? He ain't coming home. Let's keep on moving forward. Live streamer. This is a fun-thon. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to hear about this one. This girl got arrested. And I feel sorry for streamers. Because sometimes we do all types of stuff to get content. You see how I keep on saying, double tap the screen to get more likes. Because I'm trying to get more people over here. Hopefully I can go viral or something. That's what everybody tries to do. Go viral. But check out this one. This live streamer was arrested for popping paintballs at somebody in Austin, Texas, some crazy assault. Check this out, you guys. I know, only paintballs, but no, I think it got a little more to do with paintballs. Let's get over to Austin and see what's going on with this situation.
Live streamer Zena the Witch could be facing jail time after she was caught using a paintball gun to shoot a random person at Lady Bird Lake. Fox 7 Austin's Libby Farrow has the latest on her arrest.
29-year-old Amaris Sampson, more commonly known by her Kick username Zena the Witch, was arrested Wednesday night around 10 p.m. She was arrested for intentionally causing bodily injury and deadly conduct. On Saturday, August 9th, Sampson is seen in a live stream shooting a random person with a paintball on the trail near Lady Bird Lake. She's participating in an annual citywide $30,000 prize money worth scavenger hunt that's hosted by another streamer, Ice Poseidon. But the event is not city sanctioned. Austin police were searching for Sampson as she had a warrant for her arrest. They located Zena the Witch while live streaming with other streamers in a van with no license plates outside of Fox 7 Austin on East 10th Street. The arrest caused quite a streamer frenzy where many of them showed up and streamed the arrest.
So yeah, they streamed the streamer being arrested on their stream. You see what I'm saying? People do anything for content. Hey guys, guess what? Zena the Witch is being arrested right now. Hey look, come on my show. That's what basically they was doing, y'all. Let's get on over here to this Florida man that was charged with murder after a traffic dispute turns deadly. Crazy stuff, y'all. Look how the world is. That's why I like to come here, because everybody here in my chat 9 times out of 10, if it ain't no crazy troller, you guys have common sense. And at least one time a day, I can talk to people with common sense.
First up, a minor traffic issue and a bad decision. That's what police say led to a shooting last night that cost a 43-year-old man his life. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm John Brown.
And I'm Marlisa Goldsmith. The accused shooter was actually surprised to find himself in cuffs. Fox 35's Chris Lindsay joins us live tonight. So, Chris, what led to this deadly interaction?
Well, the man told investigators the car in front of him was going too slow, so he tried to pass. That started a back and forth between the two drivers. Words were exchanged and shots were fired. 24-year-old
He said your bond is set at none. You don't have a bond.
Aiden Harris, distraught after learning he'll be in jail until his arraignment, charged with second-degree murder after what the Sanford police chief is calling a minor traffic issue ended with evidence markers scattered across the ground outside view on Lake Monroe Apartments.
Crazy.
Outside, evincing the dangerous or crime without premeditation.
According to court documents, Harris told detectives 43-year-old Joseph Hall was driving slowly in front of him, and when he tried to pass him, he claims Hall tried to hit him. So Harris followed, trying to get a picture of his license plate. Eventually, the two came to a stop at an apartment complex, and he says Hall boxed him in. The two got out of their cars and began to argue. Harris claims Hall lunged at him, but witnesses told officers they saw Harris run toward Hall, firing shots as he was running away. Police Chief Cecil Smith says Harris had several opportunities to drive away from the incident as he followed Joseph, who was attempting to drive away. Yet, Harris continued to follow Joseph unnecessarily, which ultimately led to Harris killing Joseph.
Joseph should have drove to the precinct. If you see you got somebody hot on your tail that don't want to let up, you call the boys. Don't feel bad about calling police, especially if you ain't got no defense. Look here, I got this call file on me. I don't know what he planning on doing. I'm going to bring him close to the precinct. So yeah, I'm telling you guys some tips. And another thing, is it worth road rage all the time? Your car ain't get messed up. You probably aggravated. You know what you need to do? Whoosh. Look at that person and say, you know what, you're right. God bless you. Have a good day. Get up out of there. Yeah, you're going to be mad for doing it, but you're going to be able to make it another day. It ain't always about winning a battle. You want the battle. You want to win the war. You want to get more days in your life. That's what we about over here. That's why we ain't living for the weekend or working for the weekend over here. We worry about Monday and the weeks behind that because guess what? Life continues and we appreciate life. Don't we, y'all? Don't we? Keep on moving forward. We got to pray for that man that lost his life, though, in that terrible, tragic event in Miami, because we don't just want to move forward without acknowledging that situation. Terrible, tragic event. We hope that the family, as well as his friends and everyone who probably saw it, can get through this in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. We're going to keep on moving forward. The reason why we do that is because sometimes we might have a very exciting or funny clip after that. It's hard to go from one extreme to the next for me until I pray for the soul of someone that definitely lost their lives in a tragic event. We're going to go back over to this curious situation of these neighbors that are flocking to a man's house after he reports a loud boom. I don't know what's been going on with the earth, with the world. There's a lot of conspiracy theories. A buddy of mine lives in like Durango, Colorado. He says that there's a place over there that they're known for having like aliens and sorts of, he hears like whoop, whoop, and nothing's outside. So yeah, I don't know about that, but these are a bunch of people over here in Houston that says curious neighbors flocked to this man's house after he reported a loud boom.
Now to Northeast Harris County, where a mysterious boom has residents there buzzing.
The loud noise shook homes and rattled nerves across several communities like Atascocita, Kingwood, Humble, Huffman, and Crosby.
We have everybody from all walks of life in our chat. We have people from everywhere. Do any of you guys know anything about these loud booms or these noises that's going on? And it's happening in like a bunch of different counties. I would be interested in knowing where the HELL hockey sticks that's coming from. Maybe it's the plates coming together or something under the earth. I don't know what it is, but do you guys have any knowledge of this?
But so far, authorities have no answers about what caused the boom and where it came from.
Aniele Ruiz is live in Atascocita at the home of a former firefighter who was among the first to report it. Aniele?
Nope, this is something about
Well, that's right.
underground
The sheriff's
cities that they
office,
building.
precinct 4 constable's office, as well as the fire department, they all say they don't know what caused it. But one thing is for certain, neighbors out here, are pretty curious. On this quiet street in Atascocita, one man has gone from retired firefighter to the most famous man on the block.
Felt like an explosion. Yeah, it's boom. Yeah. It was loud too.
Ronald Walker Sr. said instinct kicked in.
What did you do instantly?
Well, me being a veteran fireman, I walked outside. I looked around in case the area looking for smoke. I didn't see any. Then I called the fire department just to report it.
After he made that call, Ronald's quiet morning was over.
Because I reported what I heard and what everybody else on the block heard, they put my address out there on the web. We've had over 100 vehicles come through here.
He wasn't exaggerating. During our interview, Carr
said that there was a big explosion over here on Burl Oak, so we're checking it out.
After Carr,
whose house exploded?
And curious neighbors came looking for answers.
What was that, Ron?
Nobody knows. It was just a loud.
So Ron is now famous because of the boom. Here comes the boom. Here comes the boom. So he made himself famous. He said, you know what? I'm going to make myself viral in my neighborhood. I'm going to go sit on the back of my truck. I'm going to be the spokesman for the boom. Come on, y'all. Let's keep on moving forward. I got this fantastic situation right here. I want you to see this 6-year-old boy who saved the day. We got a great little boy right here. He loves trains. All he does is watch the trains. But guess what he did this one particular day in Waxhaw? He saved a train from being derailed. Watch this. A 6-year-old paying attention. Watch this.
Only on 9, a little boy being called a hero for stopping a train on the tracks.
Channel 9's Eli Brand explains how the 6-year-old's hobby helped prevent an emergency in downtown Waxhaw.
This is 6-year-old Graham Huntley in his happy place.
Wave big at it when it's coming through.
Almost every day you can find him here in downtown Waxhaw tracking and watching trains because...
What is it about trains that you like so much?
When I wave at them, they wave at me back.
On Monday, Graham's parents say he was able to turn his train watching hobby into a big help. He spotted this tree laying across the tracks in downtown Waxhaw. They say once he saw it, he immediately let somebody know, especially since a train was coming.
And that family says this is the exact spot where that tree was down across from these tracks in downtown Waxhaw. And they say Graham's warning allowed someone to be able to call ahead and warn the conductor of that train.
And this is the sound of the conductor hitting emergency brakes to try and stop.
Hey.
Witnesses say that train stopped just feet from the tree, all thanks to Graham's warning.
Of course, we are so proud of his observant nature, but I think the biggest thing was that he was able to learn, you see something, you say something.
Graham's mom, Amber, was with him when he noticed that tree. She says that they go train hunting with him on a regular basis. She says the man Graham warned summed up the entire experience.
That I saved the day.
Little hero and aspiring conductor.
That's here concrete and sand.
He'll keep on riding and watching trains in his spare time.
That's awesome.
And being part of a family that says they couldn't be more proud. Reporting in Waxhaw, I'm Eli Brandt, Channel 9, Eyewitness News.
My question is, why he's still dressed in them regular clothes? I want to know why he's not an honorary train conductor or something. He need to have a badge, give him a check. Where's Graham's prop set? He need to go viral. Yes, the 6-year-old. We're trying to make him go viral over here. I think everybody feel the same way. What y'all think about Graham? Wasn't that a fantastic story? Saved the day. That's right. Look at that good on the little man. Look at that good on the little man. Smart kid. Look at that. Look at that. This must be taking weeks to plan. What else you got? Good kid. God works in mysterious ways. Little bro got some son. Some son. That's right. Got some love. That's right. There we go. There we go. Give Graham his props. I should have made a little GoFundMe for him or something like that. They'll give anybody else a little bit of money. Now we're going to get over to this story right here. Because yes, we love animals as much as we love the kids. We love animals, we love dogs, we love pit bulls, especially great XLs. My favorites are XL bullies, you guys. This right here is a story about these horses that immediately recognizes his girlfriend after years of them being apart. I don't know if you guys want to see this story. I like wildlife. I like to see fantastic and beautiful stories come together. This here, to me, beautiful story. I think you guys are going to like it too.
Into the trailer door and he ran out. I just remember Phoenix looking around, seeing the trees and the grass and sniffing the air. That was a really emotional moment for me. We were giving him back his freedom.
So they say a horse that rolls all the way over 3 times, and he did it 4, is an exceptional horse. I think we knew that about Phoenix already, but he just went and proved it.
I saw this photograph of Phoenix jumping over a barrier, and I'd never seen anything like that. I decided to find and adopt him. A whole year later, I was finally able to adopt him, but I couldn't find the mare who was also in the picture. I always looked for his mare, and I never saw her. The first week, we brought a whole bunch of boys in for Phoenix. He made friends, but he was always a little standoffish. He never really pushed himself to the front. I always felt like there was a little bit of loss with him, because when he jumped the fence and could have just run away free, he came back to look for his family. He didn't want to leave them there, but in the end, he lost them anyway. I was sad that he didn't have any of them. I would go up to Phoenix and he would be staring off like he was looking for something, scanning the horizon. He was still searching, thinking he might see his family.
That's a beautiful horse. Look at
A couple of months ago, someone sent me a picture of a horse, and I stopped and I looked. I had the picture of Phoenix's mare on one side and her picture on the other side. And I'm looking here and looking there. Oh, she has brown ears. Oh, she has brown from her knees down. It's her. A horse I never thought I'd see again. It was like seeing a ghost after 2 years of looking for this horse. So that's where she got her name. We waited a couple of weeks and then we brought Ghost down and we opened the gate. Phoenix was on the other side of the hill, but he heard her and he came trotting over the hill. You hear him looking here and looking there. Oh, she has brown ears. Oh, she has brown from her knees down. It's her. A horse I never thought I'd see again. It was like seeing a ghost after 2 years of looking for this horse. So that's where she got her name. We waited a couple of weeks and then we brought Ghost down and we opened the gate. Phoenix was on the other side of the hill, but he heard her and he came trotting over the hill. You hear him call to her when he first sees her. He looked at her and it was almost like he couldn't believe it. They both bend their necks into each other, breathing each other in, just to make sure it's really you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, Phoenix and Ghost back together again.
I had tears pouring down my face because these wild horses had been separated for 2 years. And in that moment, it was like they had never been apart.
Phoenix and Ghost. Ghost is sticking close to Phoenix. Like they've never been apart.
To wild horses, family is everything. The bonds that they form are so precious and so deep. There isn't any doubt that they know and love each other. They constantly touch their nose to each other just to check they're still there, almost like they don't believe this is real. I see such confidence in Phoenix's walk. I see all that sadness has gone. I'm happier knowing that Phoenix and Ghost are together forever. They get to grow old together, and that's the best thing.
Yeah, y'all, we love animals over here. We don't care what kind of animal it is. Dog, cat, lion, raw. We don't care. Fantastic story. Y'all saw how they brought those horses back together? And the way that they was like, you know, I remember my girlfriend, my boyfriend. Wasn't that dope, y'all? Double tap that screen to get those likes up for all my animal lovers over there. You guys know how we do it. If y'all trying to make some money, 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 it's time for y'all to get that link in the description. That's right. Go to the description, hit the link, and you can make up to $550 filling out those surveys. If they pertain to you, you'll make some money and I'll make some money too. Also, if you guys have a business, you might be a mobile barber, a detailer, you might do landscaping. I don't know what you do, but send us over your promotions over here at bridgethisllc@gmail.com. bridgethisllc@gmail.com has to be in a 1080 by 1080 artwork frame so that it can fit in the post area. Also, Whew, gotta catch my breath. We still doing the Show Your talent search, you guys, and we're looking for one last location in Bed-Stuy. Thank you so much to Miss HAZ, because I know that you appreciate the show, and that's why you gave that $1.99 super chat. Guess what? Nothing is ever not enough. So everybody else, if y'all want to be like Miss HAZE, we'd appreciate the $1.99, especially with all these people we got up in here. That's the way you support the show. Yes, because we got the talent show coming up, which is called the Show Your talent search. I am going to be the one that is hosting this event. That's when you come to the location and you show us your talent, and boom, you're going to be able to make $250. And guess what? Guess who's sponsoring it? Big Drip Hard Punch. That's the new punch, 14% alcohol. That's right, 14% alcohol, y'all, in that can right there. You only need one. Trust me, I drank it before. It's strong. All you need is one. Go over to the website, www.drinkbigdrip.com, and sign up to be a part of this talent show where you can make some money and you get to meet me. And then once the whole thing is over with Manhattan, Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island, after we pick all of the main the winners from every borough, we come to one location where that last person is going to make $1,000 on top of the $250 that you've already made for winning the borough. That's right, you guys. DJ Don Dada, you guys already saw us turn up at the Throgs Neck Superstore, where Big Drip is available, as well as the LNW Valley Stream store. It's available right now, you guys, for $16.99 for the 4-pack. And if you guys appreciate the content, let's double tap that screen before we get it over and shut it down for Purple Sunday, y'all. Because guess what? Monday's tomorrow, my favorite day of the week, because you can't make no excuses. You got to pick up that phone on Monday. So that's why I love Mondays. Y'all can take the weekend, I'll take Mondays. And with that being said, y'all know what it is. It's your boy Bugatti NYC, and like I always told you, y'all could have went anywhere. But the fact of the matter that you came here to chill with me, I appreciate you. See you guys tomorrow, Monday. It's Purple Sunday today. Hope you had a fantastic day, and I hope that I left it all on the field and you guys appreciate the show. With that being said, y'all could have went anywhere, but y'all here, and the fact that y'all did, I appreciate you.